Well, welcome into Ben's Restaurant. I'm Chris Colucci. This is Coach Armeni, head coach of the Western Reserve football team. Coach, I think my heart just started beating last night from
Yeah.
Friday night. That was a wild game. I'll be biased. I call Western Reserve games. I call Western Reserve sports. I wanted you guys to win, but it was nervous for a second. Heart was skipping a beat on that going for two in that overtime.
Yeah.
Let's just backtrack a ways back in that game. You guys were down 21-7.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had about a minute and some change on the clock. You guys had the ball. You guys knew you were getting the ball starting that in the second half.
Yeah.
What are you telling your boys right before that final drive in the first half?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because, I think I have a few more gray hairs. I like to grow my beard out during football season, but it looks I look a few years older after, Friday night. We told Chris, I grabbed our quarterback, Chris Pater, and I said, we got to score. And he was like, yep. Because I thought if we got within striking distance with, the players that we have, we had a shot, getting the ball at half. We used our hurry up, which we practice, a couple times a week, every week. Don't use it as much, until the situation dictates that. But we executed it down the field. We're able to put one in, and I can tell by the body language on the other sideline that really hit them pretty good. They wanted to go in the half, up a couple scores, feeling good. The fact that we were able to go down the field in a minute and score, I thought sent the shot that really set the tone for the second half. And that's what we did. We came in the second half and played a lot better.
Weeks prior, I know you've hinted at, you guys wanted to air it out a little bit more. You wanted to maybe throw it a little bit more. You guys are a run team. You guys played a run team. But in that final drive in that first half, Pater threw a dot right over the middle to Abrams. What was going on through your head during that play, and that play? What was going on through your mind?
We were sitting on that. We thought we had a few pass plays in our back pocket like we do every week. Sometimes we have to use them, sometimes we don't. And McDonald did a great job, and that was a really good game. So we had to pull the cord on a few of those plays. That was a safety read play. You send levels in the middle of the field there, and you see what he does. So that's an entire read play for Chris. Safety bid on the dig underneath, and he threw the post behind it, and it was a big play and really kind of set us up there.
Going into halftime, down by a touchdown, what's your message to the team?
Just that we haven't played really well, that we're within striking distance, and they had their opportunities to kind of put us away, and I'm sure that's what Coach Williams was telling his kids, after the game. We told our kids that, they let us off the hook, and now we have to make them pay. You got to go out like the team we are and execute a little better, make this physical, raise our level of competition and really go out and get the W, and we did that.
The game went on. You guys got the lead 28-21, and then McDonald went down, and they put together a really good drive, and they threw a pass right into the back of the end zone to score a touchdown to tie it up. You guys had that drive going in, last drive to make it the end of regulation. Went into overtime. Was it your guys' call? As a coach going into overtime, do you want offense? Do you want defense? If you win the call, what side do you want to go on? How does that all play in as a head coach? You're telling your captain, what do you want going into overtime?
Well, I think most head coaches will tell you that they'd rather defer if you win the toss in overtime so that you get the opportunity at knowing what you have to do to win. McDonald won the toss and put us on offense, and we went right at him. We did exactly what we were doing at the end of the game. We were able to score and convert. We told our guys if they drive down and score here, they're going to go for two. Yeah. I didn't know their kicker was hurt, but if I was in that position, I would have went for two.
Yeah.
So we told our kids, be prepared for that. This game may rest on that play. That's why we use the timeout there, to coach them up and tell them, this is what we got to prepare for, and for some reason we had a sneaking suspicion that they may throw, which sounds weird because they ran it 36 times, and that Drew Sajak kid ran really well. Man, they did a nice job. McDonald's a very good football team. We had a sneaking suspicion that they may throw. We saw Coach Williams talking to a couple of the receivers when they broke the huddle over there, and we kind of told our DBs that, and we put our best kids on their best kids, and our kid made a play.
Yeah.
And that's usually what it comes down to. Our best kids against their best kids, who makes the play. So,
I thought it was Pater. He played cornerback last year.
Mm-hmm.
Gets moved to safety this year. And then Cappy and I up in the press box, we felt horrible because we had no idea who the kid was that deflected the pass on defense. We were apologizing to his family. Little do we know, it's my cousin and his nephew.
Yeah.
So we had no idea it was him. So we had to apologize to our own family that we didn't call that out. But back to where I'm going, he plays safety. Him playing corner, how did that come about where he was playing a cornerback instead of a safety? Was it just the alignment where he had to go and he made a great play on it?
Yep. Just different matchups. When you have guys that are smart and, talented, you can do a lot of different things, different matchups. So we've practiced all year long, dropping some of those safeties down. So our two safeties are arguably, and our outside linebacker. So we have Jack Darney and Chris Pater play safety, and Don McCarty play outside linebacker. Those guys can pretty match up with anybody.
Yeah.
So we do a little bit. We like them at safety because we like them in the middle of the field. We like the run support they provide, but we're not afraid of dropping them down, flipping a little personnel, and letting them match up with some guys on the outside. So that's something that we practice, something that we prep, and I think that stuff in those moments, your prep shows. When you do it the right way, we pride ourselves, regardless of talent, regardless of Letterman coming back, we pride ourselves on prepping our kids to the best of our ability. And in a moment like that, I think it shows.
Yeah. So, you grew some gray hairs from that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're not taking a step away. I mean, you guys are maybe even raising the bar going into this week.
Yeah.
A team that eliminated you guys from the playoffs last year.
Oh, yeah.
Lowville Rockets. I know I've wanted to talk about this game so much in weeks before, but you have your rule, and I gotta respect it. We have light. I guess they wanted to turn some lights on here, but guys got Lowville this week.
Yep.
Knocked you out of the playoffs. Talk to me about what you guys are thinking, how the kids feel, what do you guys expect to see? Give me the lowdown on Lowville.
I mean, they have some athletes, and enough athletes to make you worried. So our kids, we've been preaching to our kids all week long that this is a dangerous, good football team. They've had some success early in the season, and our kids remember them ending our season. We were able to end their winning streak week 4 last year. And they got us back in the playoffs when it counted the most. And that's not something that we take really lightly. We're not really focused on, I don't really get into that whole revenge thing, and all that stuff. But that's a competitive game. They have chippy kids. We have chippy kids. They got some athletes. We have some athletes. They do a great job of prepping their kids, and so do we. So I expect that game to be, another knockdown, drag-out fight. And I think it says a lot about our league. I say this every week.
Yeah.
You say this in every interview, no matter who you're talking to, how good the league is.
Yeah.
And, I mean, every week's a playoff game.
Yep.
We told our kids, don't get high off your own supply. We had a great win. You're 4-0, but the only thing we care about right now is 1-0. So we had a couple good days of practice so far. And that's kind of where we're going right now is, 1-0 every week, putting our best foot forward. And our kids know, they're not taking this game lightly. This is a game they want.
I want to go back to McDonald because I just thought of something. Calebson on the D-line tore it up. He was, to me, it looked like he was in the backfield every play.
Yeah.
Give him some love. Talk to me about how his play went and how it helped you guys come out victorious in the McDonald game.
Well, not only Caleb, but I think that entire D-line, they had 36 rushes for 90-some-odd yards, and, in comparison, we ran like 32 times for, 260 yards. And McDonald's pretty good, and they hit a lot of passes against us, and they did a nice job there. But I think Caleb and Parker Namey, Dylan Crute, Isaac Burnett, Jackson Young, You know, a lot of those guys do a great job on that D line. You know, they get after it, and Caleb has done a nice job this year. He's a matchup problem. You know, he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's fast off the ball.
Wrestler,
you know,
baby. You
he's
know
a
I
guy.
love that.
He's just a guy that likes the contact. You know, he's not a guy that's happy playing on the edge. You know, he wants to mix it up. You know, he wants to grab guys. He wants to tackle guys. You know, and he's as tough as nails, you know, so he is certainly part of that identity on the defense, you know, and it helps when you have the guys behind him like Noah Gonzalez and Nate Hemberger that like that too. You know, so those guys in that box are gritty guys, man. You know, they are Northeastern Ohio football players, you know, and they are a large part of our identity.
Darney tore it up. I think he had, I don't know how long that rush was, 85, 90 yards.
89.
89 yards. He had a stellar game. Talk about his performance last week against McDonald.
I mean, it's just, you know, he is who he is.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a surprise to us who see him practice and play every week. You know, he had 180 yards rushing. He had 101 yards receiving. He scored a couple of touchdowns. Oh, and he had like 10 tackles on defense and an interception. So, I mean, like, he is just an all-around football player. You know, he is tough as nails. He's grown as a leader. You know, he leads by example. He's one of those guys that the kids are, you know, our younger kids see him hang it all out there, you know, and they emulate that. Just a special guy. One of those guys that we lost last year.
Yeah.
And played in the first Louisville game but did not play in the second Louisville game. So he's a guy that's really excited to get out there on Friday night.
You guys are traveling to their place this year. Last year, they came to your place twice. Obviously, they beat you in the playoffs, but you beat them in the regular season. Guys are struggling with only 4 home games this year. You only got 2 more left. You're playing in Louisville. I know they got a great concessions, but I'm sure in your coaching career you've never taken that up on it. But how is it playing in an away area?
Well, I'm a road warrior. You know, I played high school football at Youngstown Cheney in the 90s, and we didn't have a home field.
Yeah.
So I'm used to that's built into my DNA where, like, it's Friday night, you get on a bus and you go play.
Yeah.
You know, your home games are played at Stanball Stadium. You're still getting on a bus and going to play. So that's something that I'm very comfortable with, and our kids need to be comfortable with, you know. So we try to keep it like a business trip. That's what we call it. You know, get your stuff. Let's get ready. We're not making, you know, there's no frills here. Grab the stuff that you need for this game. Get on. Let's go take care of business. You know, and our experienced guys, and you know, understand that part of it. So, you know, I think that's, you know, something that if you're going to be a good football team, that you have to do.
We're 40% through. I know this is wild, but felt like yesterday just started. But after Friday night, we're going to be 50% of the regular season done. We're 40% right now. Going to be 50. I know I'm a genius in math. It's easy to do that math. But what are some things that you like that your guys are doing, and what's some things that you guys need to improve on?
Sometimes the inexperience shows, you know, and we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. You know, good teams don't make mistakes. You know, you get a 3rd and long, and, you know, we get like a late hit penalty.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to move tempo, and we get a false start. Yeah. You know, just little ticky-tacky things that we have to clean up if we want to be the football team that we think we can be. But I'm going to tell you what I do like. This is absolutely, without a doubt, in all the years that I've coached, the most physical, top-to-bottom football team. You know, they're every guy on the football field that is wearing red, white, and blue. They just like to hit, you know, and that isn't a really important thing. We're not hiding any soft guys. You know, there's not anybody. A cornerback, a D lineman, you know, an offensive lineman, a receiver, man, that you just all like to hit.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's something that this community breeds is just tough kids.
Yeah.
You know, they all want to hit. You know, sometimes when we tell kids, like, hey, don't do this, they're like, well, it's football. We want to hit.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that you like carrying as a head coach. I mean, obviously, we want to keep our guys healthy.
Yeah.
But I like the physicality. You know, we got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
This is not, you know, when you're playing small school football, you know, you have to keep your guys healthy. You have to, you know, we work really hard on the lifting, conditioning, nutrition, health end of this. Connor Johnston, our strength coach, does a great job with the guys. We work really hard on that part because you need your guys week to week to rebound. And so far so good. Things are going, trending in the right direction. But it is the fastest 10 weeks of football. I mean,
it pains me when
I know the rest of the year as a teacher and a coach after all these years, the rest of the year goes really slow for me. But football season, I mean, it just flies by.
Yeah.
I mean, you're halfway through the year basically now. Before you know it, it'll be playoff time.
Yeah.
So I tell the guys all the time, don't wish it away.
Mm-hmm.
It may be rough, it may be hot, your body may be sore, but man, you got to try to enjoy the ride because it can end at any moment.
I've always had this thought, and I don't know. Are you a country music fan?
I am.
You like Kenny Chesney?
Yeah.
Boys of Fall, obviously.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
The music video, it's Sean Payton talking, and he basically he's in the locker room and he's talking about every guy in that locker room. I'm sure has put on a helmet, put on shoulder pads, and they would do anything.
Yep.
Anyone on your coaching staff, any dad in the stands, any guy that's ever played football in the stands, would want to put on the helmet, the shoulder pads, the pants on one more time, even one more play, they'd want to go back out there. And I really didn't understand it until being graduated and not playing it. And I just want all these guys to enjoy it and take it in. And I love them. I love that mentality you guys have for them. Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you.
I'll be in the press box at an away game, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, try to get yourself some cavatelli and
I'm going to try
there.
because I heard this concession stand's legit. Never been to one of their games, so I'm going to have to try something.
Funny quick story.
Yeah.
I was an assistant at Western Reserve a long time ago, and one year Louisville was very good. So in the early 2000s, they had stellar football teams, not unlike what they've been recently. One year when I was at Reserve, they beat us up pretty good, and I don't remember the score, but 34-12, 34-18, something like that. And the locker room is next to the concession stand. So they had a bunch of leftover food. And they brought it into our locker room and said, hey, coaches, would you like some leftover food? So you have our coaching staff, after a very poor performance, like eating cavatel and wedding soup and meatballs and bread bowls. And for a moment there, it kind of took away the sting of that loss.
Sure.
So I have sampled it. That's the only time I've ever eaten anything from a Louisville concession stand. I have had it. It's been 20-some years now, but it was pretty good back then. I can't imagine that it's not good right now.
Oh, everyone raves about it. I can't wait. I got to get something.
Yeah.
So, Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Good job last week.
Appreciate it.
Get the boys ready, and let's get out there Friday night and tear it up.
Yep, sounds good.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.